Welcome to Autopsy of a Bad Line. Stay tuned till the end of the video for a sneak peek of the next bad line I intend to dissect. In 2021, Crunchyroll Animation released an original show called High Guardian Spice, and boy did it create a stir, though sadly not for the right reasons. The show has been almost universally torn apart for its terrible plot, wooden characterization, and pathetic production quality. Among its many criticisms is the poorly written dialogue, which often comes across as corny, pedantic, or just plain nonsensical. One of the most infamous examples of this is the following line from Rosemary.
You girls want any food? Is sleep a food?
This line has now become one of the most, if not the most, memed line in the entire show because of how ridiculous it sounds. But that raises a question. What exactly is it about this particular line that is so bad? Let's get into it. Before we start, we need to discuss a little something called irony. Irony, to put it simply, is whenever something happens that is the opposite of what you would expect. There are several different forms of irony, the three most common being dramatic, situational, and verbal. Dramatic irony is when the audience knows something that the characters don't. Situational irony is when something happens that goes against the audience's expectations, and verbal irony is when someone says the opposite of what they mean. Oftentimes, though not always, irony is used to convey humor. Now, what does all this have to do with Rosemary's line in High Guardian Spice? Well, for starters, it's important to note that Rosemary is, in fact, being verbally ironic here. She's not sincerely asking whether sleep is actually a food. She's making an indirect statement about how tired she is. Unfortunately, this joke doesn't land for two major reasons. First, the logic of this line is flawed, to say the least. It basically amounts to Rosemary saying, "You are offering me food. All I want is sleep. The only way I would want food is if the food were in fact sleep." But the idea of sleep being a food is so bizarre that it doesn't register as being funny. Part of the problem is that food and sleep, while two different things, both have the same purpose, to rejuvenate the body. Thus, substituting one for the other doesn't convey the right sense of irony to be funny. It's not a good analogy, is what I'm saying. Rosemary's use of verbal irony also falls flat because it's too out of character for her. They've established her as a hyperactive and rather dopey person, so having her attempt to say something witty and sarcastic just doesn't work. She's already been shown to say ridiculous things with a straight face, to the point where it's impossible to tell if she's being serious or not.
Most guardians can afford seats.
We're guardians in training. We're gonna sit on each other's laps at the same time.
Sarcasm only works if you can tell when your character is being sarcastic or being serious. Otherwise, it just comes across as stupid. Anyway, that's my 2 cents worth on the subject. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. God bless. Next time on Autopsy of a Bad Line.
Hey, Taya, stay down or we're busted.
It's freezing out here. I can't sit still.
In another few hours, the sun will rise.
That's not funny, Tristan.